Celtic could be about to lose a fan favourite to competition from abroad. Andy Robertson's future takes another twist, and the fans' collective have fired back at the club's latest move. Plus, Liam Scales opens up about character in the title race, and one coach is getting serious praise from inside the dressing room. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic could face serious competition if they decide to pursue a permanent move for Julian Araujo this summer. The Mexican international arrived on loan from Bournemouth back in January, and he's made 13 appearances across all competitions so far. His aggressive style, relentless running, and visible passion have quickly made him a favourite with supporters. That was clear again on Sunday at Ibrox. Araujo played the full 120 minutes in Celtic's Scottish Cup quarter-final win, throwing himself into the occasion and celebrating wildly with teammates at the final whistle. Many supporters have already called for the club to make the move permanent, but it will not be straightforward. The loan deal Celtic agreed with Bournemouth does not include an option to buy. Araujo is scheduled to return to the Premier League side at the end of the season. His long-term future there is unclear. Before joining Celtic, the defender had been left out of Bournemouth's first team plans. That situation opened the door for his move to Glasgow in January. His form has even caught the eye of Mexico boss Javier Aguirre as the World Cup approaches. Now another club has entered the picture. Reports in Mexico claim Cruz Azul are interested in bringing Araujo back to his homeland if they can reach an agreement with Bournemouth. The Mexico City club recently sold right-back Jorge Sanchez to Greek side PAOK and are now searching for a replacement. Araujo's name has been strongly linked with that position. He still has 3 years remaining on his Bournemouth contract, which means any deal will depend on the Premier League club's valuation. For Celtic, the situation is becoming increasingly familiar. A player arrives, makes an immediate impact, then attracts attention elsewhere before a permanent move is even on the table. Araujo's influence since arriving in January has been obvious. He made his debut at the start of the year, but quickly established himself in the side after a difficult introduction. Since then, he's been a regular presence in Martin O'Neill's lineup, offering pace and aggression down the right and showing no shortage of personality in big moments. Interest from Cruz Azul underlines the impression he's made in a short space of time. If Celtic want to keep him beyond the summer, they may have to move quickly. Now for the main story, as Andy Robertson continues to be linked with a move to boyhood club Celtic, with fresh reports hinting at what the future may hold. Robertson has never hidden his support for the Hoops. The Liverpool left-back grew up a Celtic supporter, and the idea of a return to Scotland has followed him for years. It's resurfaced again in recent months as his contract situation at Anfield edges towards its final stretch. The 31-year-old is currently due to be out of contract at the end of the season. That uncertainty has fueled talk of a potential switch to Celtic Park. Robertson has slipped down the pecking order at Liverpool this season, although he's made it clear he intends to fight for his place until the campaign ends. His future beyond that point remains open. The Celtic links have only intensified after comments from his former Liverpool teammate Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain, who joined Celtic earlier this year, revealed Robertson was heavily invested in his move to Parkhead before it was finalised. The Scotland captain was regularly asking for updates as the deal moved closer. That interaction alone was enough to spark more conversation among supporters who would love to see the defender pull on the green and white. However, the latest reports suggest Celtic may face competition if Robertson does decide to move on. According to Football Insider, Tottenham Hotspur are prepared to reignite their interest in the defender this summer. Spurs attempted to bring him to North London during the January window, but were unable to strike a deal. Their interest has not disappeared. That would likely present Robertson with a decision between staying in the Premier League or making the emotional move north of the border. For now, the situation remains unresolved. Robertson's immediate focus will shift to international duty in the months ahead. Scotland are preparing for their first World Cup appearance in 28 years, with their captain set to play a pivotal role. Until his club future becomes clear, the Celtic rumours will continue to circle. In other news, Liam Scales praised Celtic's resilience after the champions came through 4 demanding away matches without defeat. The defender captained the side in Sunday's Scottish Cup penalty shootout win at Ibrox, a result that closed out a testing run of fixtures on the road. Before the sequence began, there was plenty of discussion around how Martin O'Neill's side would cope. 2 trips to Ibrox, a European tie, a test at Aberdeen, and little recovery time left it looking like a stretch that could derail momentum. Instead, Celtic negotiated it without losing. Scales pointed straight to the mentality inside the dressing room. He said, "I think people questioned how we'd get on. The 4 away games in the 10 days, having to come here twice and have a European game in there as well. I just think that the character is brilliant in our dressing room. We know it's there. We haven't got to the levels as consistently as we would like, but the character has got us through games, scoring last-minute goals. It's given us good momentum now to kick on. It has not always been smooth. Performances across the 90 minutes have been a major concern, but this Celtic side has still found ways to get results when it matters. Late goals, moments of persistence, and a refusal to fold have carried them through matches that could easily have slipped away. Scales believes that Run has put the squad in a strong position heading into the next phase of the season. It's good for confidence, obviously. You looked at the 4 games coming up and you thought we need to take it game by game, but it was a difficult run. It's good to be out the other side of it. Now we have more time in between games to recover and rest. It's put us in the perfect position to where we want to be. We need to take the momentum now and go on. The 27-year-old also knows that momentum means little if it's not backed up in the weeks ahead. There's still a long run of matches to come, and Celtic cannot afford to drift after navigating that difficult spell. Attention turns back to league action. They suffered a home defeat to Hibs most recently, a result that must be shaken off. Motherwell are next at Celtic Park this Saturday. The North Lanarkshire side were beaten by Dundee last weekend, but they've caused problems for Celtic before and will not arrive looking to make up the numbers. Celtic also have little margin for error. Hearts sit 5 points clear at the top of the table, which means every match between now and the end of the season carries weight. Results like the one at Ibrox help build belief, but belief alone will not close the gap. Lastly, Viljami Sinisalo has lifted the lid on the influence Mark Fotheringham has had inside the Celtic dressing room this season. The goalkeeper was taking part in a Q&A on Celtic's official Instagram when Fotheringham's name came up. Sinisalo did not hesitate when asked what the coach is like behind the scenes. Fotheringham's role at the club might not grab headlines, but it's clearly felt by the players working with him every day. The Finn was quick to point out that it goes well beyond the coaching side. Not only is Fozzie a brilliant coach, but he is an unbelievable human being. Every time you speak to Fozzie, he makes you feel like $1 million. You come out of the conversation feeling on top of the world, and sometimes that's what you need as a footballer. Everyone loves him, and I'm sure I'm not the only one speaking very highly of him. Fotheringham knows the club as well as most. The former midfielder came through Celtic's youth ranks and still holds the distinction of being the club's youngest ever player. He made his debut at just 16 years old in 2000 under Kenny Dalglish. His time in the first team was brief. Fotheringham left in 2004 after making only 3 senior appearances. More than 2 decades on, he returned to the club as part of Martin O'Neill's coaching staff. O'Neill has been open about the value Fotheringham brings to the environment. His influence stretches across training sessions and into match days, where his voice and energy are a constant presence around the squad. Players have clearly taken to him, as have the fans. Fotheringham has spent a lot of time working closely with the younger members of the group, helping them deal with the pressure that comes with playing for Celtic. It's not just tactical instruction, there's an element of guidance and reassurance that younger players often need when they're trying to establish themselves. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.